summer we turned 20, the air was thick as sin. The devil was in the details, and the whiskey was in the gin. The heat came off the blacktop in a hazy, angry wave, and the only prayer you had was for the coolness of the grave. Down by the Tallahatchie, where the cypress trees all weep, you made your reckless promises for secrets you could keep. With a smile as slow as molasses and eyes of jealous green, the most beautiful disaster that this county'd ever seen. You were the kudzu king, with your tangle of lies growing over everything. Beneath the bruised up southern skies, you choked the light from all the good things. You twisted round the truth. You were the wild and reckless ruler of my misbegotten youth, and I was just another trellis, another fool to climb upon. You left me in the darkness long after you were gone. Yeah, you were the kudzu king, and damn this cursed town, forever letting you just grow and never cutting you down. You'd quote the Bible backwards, you'd wrestle copperheads, you'd tell your wild stories from the comfort of my bed. You said the vines were soldiers in a silent verdant war, and you were just their general who knew what they were fighting for. You had a voodoo confidence, a dangerous design. You swore that you could own the sun and make the stars align. And like a fool I followed into that overgrown land, with your poison ivy promises held tightly in my hand. You were the kudzu king, with your tangle of lies growing over everything. Beneath the bruised up southern skies, you choked the light from all the good things. You twisted round the truth. You were the wild and reckless ruler of my misbegotten youth, and I was just another trellis, another fool to climb upon. You left me in the darkness long after you were gone. Yeah, you were the kudzu king, and damn this cursed town, forever letting you just grow and never cutting you down. They say a fire came through here a couple years ago. It burned the fields to charcoal, but it didn't stop the growth. 'Cause roots like that go deeper than the goodness in the ground. And I hear your ghost is still here, I still hear your voice around. In the rustle of the leaves at night, in the humidity's embrace, a vegetative haunt, a green and suffocating grace. sun is a rumor in the east somewhere. Got 100 miles of desert in my hair. The dashboard is glowing, a comforting friend, on this two-lane blacktop that never will end. Passed a sign for a town called Hope, and then regret. Guess the guy who named those places hadn't gotten there yet. The coffee is bitter, the radio's dead. Just the thoughts of the living and the ghost in my head. And this is my freeway soliloquy, just the engine, the asphalt, the stars and me, trying to outrun the man I was yesterday, letting the white lines just carry me away. The truck stops are islands of harsh yellow light, full of tired-eyed angels in the long holy night. They're pouring out coffee and wiping down steel, asking you questions about how do you feel. But you just say fill her up, 'cause you don't have the words for this flock of wild migrating unspoken birds that are flying inside you, just beating their wings against the cage of your ribs and the sad songs you sing. And this is my freeway soliloquy, just the engine, the asphalt, the stars and me, trying to outrun the man I was yesterday, letting the white lines just carry me away. I remember you saying as we packed up the car, no matter what happens, you can't get that far. But darling, I'm trying, I'm pushing my luck in this beat-up old chassis of a Ford pickup truck. 'Cause America's huge and it's full of back roads, full of places to shed your impossible loads. And maybe there's a town that your memory can't reach, a place with no oceans, no sand and no beach, just a quiet horizon, a place to be new, a place that is finally empty of you. was white, the world was bright, the window pane was a blur of frost. Everything was lost. We were snowed in for 7 days in a beautiful and frozen haze. The TV died, the phone lines fell under a silent crystal spell. In our winter palace, built of malice and of ice, wasn't it nice? In our winter palace, the silence was a heavy sheet, the only sound our own heartbeat. You drew our names on the frozen glass, and you knew the thaw would never last. In our winter palace, built of malice and of ice, wasn't it nice? In our winter palace. In our winter palace. The 712 Durante is never late or soon. It just arrives beneath the tired old commuter moon. The faces are all shades of gray, the shoulders are all slumped from another day of battles where they triumphed or got trumped. I find my seat, the window smeared with someone's greasy hair. I watch the perfect houses pass and pretend I don't care about the lawns, the picket fence, the dog that's on a chain. Just another Tuesday drowning in a cold and steady rain. Then I saw you standing by the door, a face I hadn't seen in 10 years, maybe more. You look the same, just sadder in the eyes, beneath the buzzing fluorescent corporate skies. And my heart became a traitor, a drum inside my chest, putting all my careful, quiet, boring years up to the test. You didn't see me watching, you were in your own sad scene, just a ghost I used to know on the suburban line machine. You got off at Maple Street just like you always did. I remembered where you lived and all the stupid things we hid. Behind the bleachers at the high school in your parents' beat-up car, we were drawing constellations, but we never saw a star. And now your coat is practical, your hair is tied back tight. Did you get the life you wanted? Are you happy here tonight? Or do you ride this train back home and stare out at the black and wish for just 1 second you could finally go back? 'Cause I just saw you standing by the door, a face I hadn't seen in 10 years, maybe more. You look the same, just sadder in the eyes, beneath the buzzing fluorescent corporate skies. And my heart became a traitor, a drum inside my chest, putting all my careful, quiet, boring years up to the test. You didn't see me watching, you were in your own sad scene, just a ghost I used to know on the suburban line machine. The train pulls out, the station's gone, you disappear from view, and I'm alone again with just the boring, stable truth that I'm the one who stayed on board, who rode it to the end, the safe and steady stranger, the reliable good friend. And maybe you're the ghost, or maybe I am too, haunting the same timeline, just a different point of view. Yeah, ghost on the suburban line. Was your life a warning, or was it a sign? A ghost on the suburban line. You were never really yours, you were never really mine. Never mind. neon star outside is broke. It flickers green and red. It's painting shadows on the words that we both left unsaid. The piano man is sleeping with his face down on the keys. His sad songs have all floated out and died upon the breeze. The bartender is polishing a glass that's already clean. It's the loneliest and saddest little ritual I've seen. And you are staring at your drink like it holds all the answers to the test we never studied for. The wounded, tired dancers. And it's last call at the Starlight Lounge, my love, last call for you and me. The whiskey's gone, the magic's dead, there's nothing left to see. So drink it down and say the words, the ones we've tried to hide. There's no more hiding place for us with just the dark inside. It's last call for the promises, the maybes and the mights. Yeah, it's last call at the Starlight Lounge for all our starry nights. You trace a circle on the bar through a puddle and a tear, and you say, isn't it funny how we ended up right here? The same two fools we were back then, just older and more scared. And I just nod, 'cause all my good responses are impaired. 'Cause I remember that first night right here in this same booth, when we were drunk on cheap champagne and indestructible youth. We carved our names into the wood beneath the tabletop, a promise that this feeling that we had would never stop. But it's last call at the Starlight Lounge, my love, last call for you and me. The whiskey's gone, the magic's dead, there's nothing left to see. So drink it down and say the words, the ones we've tried to hide. There's no more hiding place for us with just the dark inside. It's last call for the promises, the maybes and the mights. Yeah, it's last call at the Starlight Lounge for all our starry nights. The bartender, he clears his throat, says, folks, I'm closing down. And it's the kindest, cruelest, most unwelcome final sound. 'Cause now there's no more atmosphere to hide what we've become. Just two people at an empty bar whose love is going numb. And the silence is a closing door, the lock is turning slow. And you finally look me in the eye and softly tell me go. on the table, and I walk out in the night, and the broken star just gives no light.
I was lost in a city that wasn't my own, on a street where the language was written in stone. The sun had gone down with a sigh and a flare, leaving lavender bruises all over the air. I was tired of walking, my heart was a stone, the loneliest tourist who'd ever been known. I was ready to give up, to call it a night, when a sound drifted down from an incredible height. It was a rooftop accordion playing a tune to the sliver of a shy, crooked, paper-thin moon. A song that was clumsy and hopeful and sad, for the best, worst, and strangest day I'd ever had. It wasn't for me, it wasn't for show, just a strange little secret the angels all know, that somewhere someone's making a beautiful sound, while the rest of the city is sleeping on the ground. I looked up and saw him, a silhouette small, against a brick chimney, not frightened to fall. His arms were just pumping, his head was thrown back, he was playing his heart out to the gathering black. And the tune wasn't perfect, a few notes were sour, but he poured out his soul from his ramshackle tower. And I thought of the reasons a person would climb, to play for nobody at this space in time. It was a rooftop accordion playing a tune to the sliver of a shy, crooked, paper-thin moon. A song that was clumsy and hopeful and sad, for the best, worst, and strangest day I'd ever had. It wasn't for me, it wasn't for show, just a strange little secret the angels all know, that somewhere someone's making a beautiful sound, while the rest of the city is sleeping on the ground. And all of my loneliness, all of my dread, the cynical arguments inside my head, just floated away on that strange wheezing breeze, and got tangled up somewhere in the tops of the trees. 'Cause you can't be lonely, not really, not when there's a man on a rooftop you'll not see again, who is playing a song for the sake of the air, and reminding your heart that there's magic out there. Strange and beautiful, clumsy guardian of the night, making everything feel alright.
is turning from black to a gray that holds the soft promise of a coming day. The fever has broken, the ghosts have all fled from the chairs and the corners and the foot of my bed. They've retreated like shadows at the hint of the sun. Their long night of stories is over and done, and the hum of the house is now changing its tune from a lonely lament to a welcoming croon. And it's the first light, August 29th. The almanac's closing by my own design. The night was a long one, the memories were deep, but there are no more secrets for the darkness to keep. And I'm tired, but I'm breathing, and the air is so still, with the crisp hint of autumn on the windowsill. It's just the first light, and maybe that's enough to start washing away all the cynical stuff. The first bird is testing a note in the trees, a tentative question put out on the breeze. And the last star is fading, a diamond of dew, dissolving itself in the gathering blue. My body feels heavy, my mind is washed clean by the slow, steady coming of this final scene. I'm not the same person I was yesterday, and that's probably, hopefully, truly okay. And it's the first light, August 29th. The almanac's closing by my own design. The night was a long one, the memories were deep, but there are no more secrets for the darkness to keep. And I'm tired, but I'm breathing, and the air is so still, with a crisp hint of autumn on the windowsill. It's just the first light, and maybe that's enough to start washing away all the cynical stuff. All the pages are written, the forecasts are made. Every ghost has been honored, every old debt is paid. And this room is just a room now, this bed is just a bed, not a courtroom or a theater for the words in my head. The sun hasn't risen, but I know that it will. And the world that was sleeping is starting to stir on the hill. It's just the first light, and the coming day. The first light, gonna be
353, the numbers glow a patient. Toxic green. The house is a ship on a deep, dark sea, and I'm the only passenger. Or the captain or the ghost, I haven't decided. The refrigerator kicks on, a low, steady sermon. The floorboards settle, a congregation shifting in its pews. Every night I hold this service, a liturgy for the sleepless. The air is thick with the ghost of conversations from the day. Words hang in the corners like spider webs. I try the radio, turning the dial slow, so slow. Not for a song, but for the space between the static. That's the language of the universe when it can't sleep either. A chorus of a billion dying stars, a billion forgotten signals, the static divine. Tonight is August 29th, the last breath of a dying season. Summer's fever is about to break. You can feel it in the way the dark holds on just a little bit longer. My memories are turning like pages in the damp air. An almanac of places I've been, people I've lost. Each one a forecast for a storm that's already passed. Let's begin chapter 1.
The rain on the asphalt, a mirror of light. We were running the alleys of that electric night. You in that jacket with a collar popped high, said we were immortals beneath a chemical sky. The subway would scream like a beast down below. We just turned the music up, watching the overflow of the city's big heart spilling into the street. A rhythm of sirens and our own frantic feet.
Trace the design of a ghost ghost on the sidewalk who once looked like mine, just a flicker of neon, then a handful of dust. Remember that bar with the floor sticky sweet, the promises whispered to a synthesized beat. We'd climb to the rooftops and swallow the view. There was nothing on earth that we couldn't undo. We'd map out the future on a condensation stain, laughing at mortals who ran from the rain. We were sharper than starlight, we were brighter than chrome, a million miles from the quiet of home. 'Cause we were written in neon and dust, a beautiful temporary reckless trust. We were kings of a kingdom of concrete and glass, a feeling you swear is forever, but it never can last. And tonight in the silence, I trace the design of a ghost on the sidewalk who once looked like mine, just a flicker of neon, then a handful of dust. Now the silence in this room is a deafening thing compared to the anthems we used to sing. I try to remember the texture, the taste, but a memory's a city that's been laid to waste. You can walk through the ruins, you can visit the ghost, but the one that you're looking for is the one you lost most, yourself. The design of a ghost on the sidewalk who once looked like mine, just a flicker of neon, then a handful of dust. Salt scrub wind off Penobscot Bay used to wash all my childhood sins away. I'd stand on the docks at the edge of the land with a fistful of rocks in my calloused hand, and I'd watch the lobster boats chugging back in, their engines a prayer, their captains all thin and weathered like driftwood, with eyes clear and deep, and secrets the ocean had taught them to keep. And the harbor lights of home, they still call to me now, a string of lost pearls on the foggy world's brow. They promised a safe place, a port in the storm, a place to stay humble and a bed to stay warm. But a harbor's a place you're supposed to leave from, to chase the horizon till your young heart goes numb. Those lights look much brighter the further you roam.
The beautiful, treacherous harbor lights of home. My father, he smelled of tobacco and brine. He'd point to the sea with that broke hand of mine and say, son, this town's got a powerful hold. It'll silver your hair before you get old. So I packed a bag when I turned 17 for a world I had only read of or seen in the flickering pictures at the old movie hall. And I never looked back as I answered the call. And the harbor lights of home, they still call to me now. A string of lost pearls on the foggy world's brow. They promised a safe place, a port in the storm, a place to stay humble and a bed to stay warm. But a harbor's a place you're supposed to leave from, to chase the horizon till your young heart goes numb. And those lights look much brighter the further you roam. The beautiful, treacherous harbor lights of home. I go back sometimes, but the faces are strange. The currents have shifted, the shoreline has changed, and I walk the old docks like a tourist or ghost, searching for a feeling that I miss the most. But it's not there, it left on a ship in the night, and all that is left is that string of sad light. Yeah, the harbor lights of home, they just light the way back to being alone. The harbor lights of home. A beautiful, treacherous home.